which means let's go. Jumbo everyone, my name is Colleen. I'll be your safari guide today on our journey through the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. For your safety, please remain seated at all times, keeping those hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the truck. That does mean we're not going to play two games out there, musical chairs or hot potato. If you have little ones with you, please don't pass them around the seats to see the animals. So we do allow lap sitting, but they must remain on the same lap the entire time we're on that seat next to you. There is no back and forth. Well, while we are waiting on clearance from the warden, I recommend turning those cameras on an action, sports, or even a live setting. That way you capture the best pictures of the animals out there. Because I can't stop for every animal and they sure don't always pose for us, you want to make sure those cameras are ready to go. So our journey begins today in the Little Aturi Forest. Here animals rely on their camouflage. They'll use whatever they can find, bamboo, trees, bushes, so keep your eyes open. And we have our first animal spotting over there on the right, just kind of hiding in the corner right now. That is the okapi. Many believe the okapi is related to the zebra. She does have her party pants on right now, but they are the only known living relative of the giraffe due to their super long tongues and similar skeletal structure. Those tongues are so long, it helps them to grab their food and lick their eyes, which they do every once in a while. There you can see a better view of her party pants. Over on the left, we'll see the black rhinoceros. There are only 5,000 black rhinos left in the world. They are suffering from poaching, also from deforestation, so recycling can make a big difference for them. They can grow to weigh over 3,000 pounds. Their prehensile lip helps them to grab leaves from tree branches, bushes, hay, and they also love fruit. But they do like to live alone. You'll typically see a black rhino living by themselves. They like their solitude. They will still gather with others around a watering hole, but for the most part, again, they really like to live alone. Over on the right, you'll see the greater kudu hiding in the bushes. We also have the bongo at the very top of the hill. Both bongo and okapi are known as the ghosts of the forest because of how well they camouflage. Their stripes reflect off the sun, helps them to blend in better with their surroundings. And the greater kudu is one of the tallest antelopes in the forest, around 55 inches tall at the shoulder. Over on the left, you'll see a black and white bird. That is the saddle-billed stork. They can grow to be about 4 feet tall, and they have a 9-foot wingspan, the width of the canopy above your heads. Well, we did see all of our forest friends back there, so we're going to head over to the Safi River to see if we can spot signs of any Nile hippopotamus and Nile crocodile. We have 2 hippo pools. There's one over on the right and then one further down on the left. So you have 2 chances to see them this morning. Now it is very warm today, which means hippos could be spending a lot of their time in the water. They don't have any sweat glands, it's how they stay cool. They can also hold their breath for about 8 minutes, so look out for any air bubbles. Hippos will also sleep there, but they don't have to wake up every 8 minutes to take a deep breath. Their body has a natural reflex that will push just their nose above the surface. They are sound asleep the entire time. Over on the left, you'll see a few hippos. A group of them is called a bloat. Hippos can't swim, they're too heavy to swim. They sink straight to the bottom, or they will either walk or float. So it may look like a rock, could actually be a hippo. I do see a few of them walking around. Some will even run across the bottom. Male hippos, they weigh around 5,500 pounds. Females weigh about 3,100, and that little baby right there, she was about 85 pounds when she was first born. So this bridge up ahead does say caution, which makes a lot of sense because next to us is the Nile crocodile. Crocodile can grow to be about 16 to 20 feet long, and they have a bite that is almost 3,000 pounds per square inch, which is bone crushing. At the same time, their jaws, sit down, their jaws can be gentle. They will put their eggs in their mouths to help them hatch. Now, crocodiles have very protective instincts when it comes to their young. If there's danger nearby and the babies are small enough, they will put them inside their mouth or what's called a throat pouch to keep them safe. Well, we are entering a different ecosystem. It's home to all different types of plants and trees, like the baobab tree, which you'll see over on the right. It looks upside down because it doesn't have any leaves for about 9 months and can hold up to 30,000 gallons of water. All different animals will use the tree to their advantage during dry seasons and while migrating, which is why it's also known as the tree of life. Here on the savannah, it's home to the giraffe, zebra, wildebeest, and collie cattle, all different types of antelope, and so many more. Hopefully we get to see a lot of them out there.
That's a worker or something.
Now the savannah is an ecosystem. It has 2 seasons, rainy and dry. The rainy season is one of the reasons it's not considered a desert. And it does have a well-balanced climate that helps out these animals in big ways. So any change that climate can cause them harm, which is why things like the baobab tree are super important. Over on the left, you'll see the African wild dogs. Let's do a little double take. They're hanging out in their den. I'll move up a little bit. Also known as the painted dogs because of their unique patchworks. No relation to the hyena. The hyena is part of their own subspecies called hyenidae. They're also nothing like our dogs at home. Our dogs have 5 toes. They only have 4. And they are one of the most successful hunters in the savannah with a 90% success rate. On the far left, you'll see the sable antelope, named after their sable coloring. They are the emblem or the mascot of the Harambe Wildlife Reserve, and their curved horns help to protect themselves from predators that could jump on their backs, predators like lions. Up ahead, we'll see the Maasai giraffe. They are the largest of their species, named after the Maasai tribe, where they were first discovered in Africa. They can grow to be about 18 to 20 feet tall, which is as long as the crocodile. Babies are about 6 feet tall when they're born and can stand on their own within the first hour after birth. They have to be tall enough to reach their mothers so they can nurse. Now there are a few differences between the Maasai giraffe and all different types of giraffe, and it's in their patterns. These are a little more jagged, kind of like puzzle pieces. Others have different shapes like squares or rectangles. You also see the zebra hanging out on the hill there. That is the Hartman's Mountain zebra. This particular zebra is closely related to the horse. Others are closely related to the donkey. If you put them side by side, there is a noticeable difference in size and in the shape of their mane. They can run about 45 miles an hour, which is almost as fast as the lion, and they have a powerful enough kick to break a lion's jaw. There's some wildebeest back there too. Wildebeest and zebras will migrate together for about 300 to 400 miles. They're travel buddies. We have some more giraffe here. There's also the collie cattle in those bushes, so the trees there with those large horns, known as the Watusi cattle. The species dates all the way back to the Egyptian time period. And collie cattle were considered a sign of wealth. We have a few giraffe that are sitting down here. Clearly they can sit, they just don't do it very often. It makes them vulnerable. They will sleep standing. They'll take power naps during the day, about 5-10 minute increments. Add all of those power naps together, it only equals about 30 to 40 minutes of rest a day. They'll spend 18 to 20 hours of their days eating. We're going to explore other parts of the savannah next, see if we can spot the animal knocking down all of these trees. Up ahead, we'll see the African elephant. Just like the giraffe, they're also the largest of their species. If you compare them to African forests or even Asian elephants, there is a big difference in size and in the shape of their ears. Over on the left, you'll see the mandrills. We know a famous mandrill by the name of Rafiki. Male mandrills, they weigh around 100 pounds and females weigh about 40. If a mandrill ever shows its teeth to other mandrills, it's friendly. If they ever show their teeth to you, I would turn around. It could sometimes mean they are very agitated. Now, out of the two animals, the elephants are the ones that will knock down trees for food. They eat over 300 pounds of food a day based on their size, and some can grow to weigh over 12,000 pounds. But those very large animals, they are scared of something very small, and those are bees. Well, years ago, scientists and farmers came together when they realized that elephants were being harmed for destroying crops and property. So they created the conservation project called the Elephants and Bees Project, where they built a beehive fence, put it all the way around the farm, so when elephants bumped into it, the bees would wake up and chase the 12,000-pound animals away from any crops. It's like a scarecrow for them, and it is a safe practice because eventually they learn to find food somewhere else. So again, it protects the elephants. It also helps out farmers economically. They get to keep their crops and they get a little bit of honey. It also helps to save the bees. And there are now 22 countries that are involved in the Elephants and Bees Project. It looks like we're going the right way because if you look over to the right, those are tusk marks. Elephants will dig at the red clay and eat it, which is okay. It acts like a mineral for them, like you and I can take vitamins. Male elephants, they usually live by themselves or with a group of other males called a bachelor herd. The herd or parade is made up of the adult females as well as the younger elephants. In the herd, there's a matriarch. It's led by a female, usually the oldest female in the herd. And they do have excellent memories, which is really going to help out that matriarch, especially if she's leading them back to places they have been to before to find food, water, and even safety. We do have 9 beautiful elephants that reside here on the reserve. They are advocates for the ones that live in the wild. And having them here in human care, we're not only able to protect them, but we're able to understand how we can best help the ones that are still out there. And they are fascinating animals. They make noises at a level that we cannot hear. They will use their very powerful trunks as a form of communication. So sometimes just a simple wave of the trunk is a greeting. They can fill up those trunks about 3 to 5 gallons of water. They will also use them to apply a little ray and will turn pink after eating brine shrimp. There's beta carotene in the shrimp, and that's what helps them turn that very pretty pink color. If you look closely, you'll notice that it is nesting season. There's a few of them that are sitting down. So the whole season takes about 4 months. They will lay the eggs. It takes about 2 months for them to lay the eggs, and then about a month for them to hatch.
Okay, I'll show you the pictures in a minute.
I do see some mud pits up ahead, which means there were some white rhinoceros nearby. Those mud pits are over there. Rhinos are another animal that needs sunscreen, so they will roll around in the mud. It's called wallowing. It helps to cool them off. They're applying a little bit of sunscreen, but also an insect repellent. Over on the left, you might catch a glimpse of the cheetah. I do say might because it is sunny outside. Their spots reflect off the sun. It helps them to blend in, just like the okapi and the bongo. They are the fastest animal on land and can reach speeds of up to 72 in the wild, but they can go to 60 in about 3 seconds, which is as fast as rock and roller coaster launches. Their claws are always out. It helps them to run that fast. It gives them lots of traction. Their tail helps too. It acts as a rudder. But they are sprinters, not long distance runners. Their bodies can only maintain that speed for a few hundred yards. They get overheated very quickly. There they are. There's one all the way in the back there, over on the left by the tree. And if you compare cheetahs to other cats like tigers and lions, they are pretty small. Speaking of lions, we are now approaching the Kopis, which is an island of rocks. And there are lions.
Right there. They're moving around.
You have the male who's sleeping on the rock and the female just walked over. We have 3 lions here, 2 females and the 1 male. They are nocturnal. They do sleep around 16 to 20 hours a day. They're active early in the morning, but more at night, which is when they would go hunting. The females would go out while the males would stay back with the pride. And up ahead on the right, we'll see the white rhinos. Rhinos are actually one of my favorites. So those rhinos can grow to weigh over 5,000 pounds. You'll typically find them living in groups of up to 15 called crash. Over on the right by those rocks, you'll see a little animal. That's the bontebok. He'll hang out with the rhinos every once in a while, and they have a cool survival story I'll share with you in just a little bit. As it gets hotter throughout the day, sometimes the lions will go in and try and seek more shade. But it's not uncommon for them to wake up a little bit. While they're not super active right now, you might be able to hear them all roar a little bit later. You can hear a lion roar from about 5 miles away. I do see some burrows up ahead, which could mean there are warthogs nearby. There's one. By the tree there, it looks like a hairy rock. Warthogs are related to the pig. They will go into the burrows backwards, like this one down here.
Oh, there's one looking at us.
That way their tusks are facing outwards. They can easily defend themselves. Sit down. Sit down. Over on the right, on the ground, you'll see ostrich eggs. Ostrich eggs weigh about 3 pounds. They equal 2 dozen chicken eggs and are incredibly strong. They can withstand up to 250 pounds of pressure. Our next and final stop is the Magadi Glen. This is where the warden's post is, and the wardens here will take care of the animals. They will keep them healthy and safe. To keep the wardens company on the farm, there are Nigerian dwarf goats. The goats will eat the weeds the other animals don't eat. They are used as dairy goats for their goat milk, which is very high in protein and packed with nutrients. The purpose of this post is to promote conservation, also coexistence between humans and animals. The goats are a bonus. They are very friendly, they're very playful, and they make great companions for our wardens. So this road is taking us back to the village, but I do want to leave you with one final story. The survival story of the bontebok species. Over 150 years ago, one farmer noticed there were only 17 bontebok remaining in the world. They were being poached for their beautiful coats because when they're younger, they give off a purplish tint to them. So this farmer put them all in a fenced-in yard, and what saved them from extinction is the fact that they can't jump. So they couldn't jump over the fence to escape. While years later, they were sent to different reserves and national parks where they could thrive. There are now close to 3,000 in the world and still growing. So it goes to show that even one person can make a big difference for the animals. And as our journey comes to an end, it's important to remember that while we did see beautiful animals on our journey, they need our help. And doing the simplest of things such as reduce, reuse, and recycle can help protect these animals on reserves and in the wild. So go out and share the stories you have learned today. You never know, you can inspire someone else to make a big difference. As we just heard, sometimes all it takes is one person. Now we are going to dock up ahead in just a little bit. Now would be a good time to start gathering up any of those personal belongings. It was a bumpy ride out there. You don't want to leave anything behind. Just double check those roads because it is a long walk back to Africa. Now something else we can do here today is called